Hi everyone, welcome back to a new video. I know, it's me! I'm here again. I was looking through some of my old footage from all of the house kind of content that I've been filming over the last couple of months now, and I found pretty much like a fully formed video of me talking through some like paint swatches and just talking about colour, and I thought, yeah, I'm gonna just introduce that video, put it up for you, and hope you enjoy it. So this is me introducing that footage. I am finally getting around to testing these paints. I've had them for a little while. We've got several different brands here. I remember when we got this in the post, we were like, oh no, it doesn't have the colour on the outside, that's just a plain white sticker. But when you compare it to, this is the paper I'm going to be painting onto, you can see that like green, blue. This is a brand called Grafenstone, and these are really good breathable paints. The colour is Celadon, and this would be for the bedroom. I'm really excited to see what this looks like, but it's a really unusual colour. I was looking for this everywhere and I think this is the one, but I guess you've got to test it out. All these paints are quite kind of high-end paints. They're not the cheap ones. This says National Trust on the top, so you know it's fancy. But these do have a range of colours that are chalk paints or clay paints, I think. I can't quite remember. And someone on the website told me that you can actually use their normal emulsion on lime plaster, so that's good. I actually had already thought I didn't quite like these colours as much as the Floris in Mylands, but I still want to try them out and see, because if they work in a similar way and look really good on the walls, then yeah, I'd happily get them. And then this isn't actually for a wall. This is for the floor in my studio. This is a really beautiful blue colour. It's called Tivoli, and obviously this isn't the floor paint, but it will give a good indication of colour. So to test these paints out, I'm going to be using this lining paper in the roll. This comes super cheap. I think we got this from B&Q or somewhere like that, and I've read, although I have never done this myself, that it's better to test these out on like paper, and then you can kind of put them around the room. It's a bit like the lick paint stuff where you get the swatches and then you can just kind of place them around. And also it doesn't leave like lots of different colours on your wall to then just get rid of. You can kind of put them around the place. So that is what I will do. First swatch. Ooh. Thank you. Now I'm probably going to do 2 coats of this, like I was painting a real wall. See what it's looking like. It's probably just coming up super pale on camera, but it's actually really nice. I like the undertone of it. Next up is Pink Slip, which is, I think, the darker of the pinks if I remember correctly. It definitely looks a little bit more grey toned though, which is what I was trying to avoid, but it might look better on the actual thing once we give it a stir. Yeah, that is looking good. I think this was the first pink colour that I found that I was like, ooh, that could have potential for the living room. So we'll have to see. I do like that one. I think it's the purple tone in it that feels a little bit like I don't like it. I'm sort of saying this to you and to me.
This one?
That one looks a little bit purple, doesn't it? But I don't know if it's just this lighting.
Might be this light. It's very blue.
Yeah. That's why we've got to test it out on different walls.
Every wall. So this is the full blue.
Yeah, me too. this is the one I'm really excited for because on the small paper swatches it's definitely my leading favourite. Ooh. It looks like the same but still good. Right, getting used to it. Ooh, it's a lot thicker. Already tell I'm gonna like this one. It's funny, like when I work with colours all day for illustration, that like I think I know colours quite well, but I guess this will be a good tester for that. It comes out quite light on the paper. Let's see if it gives it time to look at it on camera. I don't know if those bubbles are a slightly damp brush. I have washed and dried these brushes, but it's really interesting seeing the different kinds of paint as well. Every brand has a slightly different thing, I guess. That's definitely got the sort of true pink that I am looking for. Next up is a different colour. This is the Grafenstone Celadon. There is something very fun about like opening of it.
Yeah.
It's like I always think they really played up that in like change rooms and stuff. Like, ooh, it's the colour that I knew it was. So this is for the bedroom, and this is the only colour I've got for the bedroom so far. Because again, I had this really specific colour in mind, and this was the closest to it. We had a really beautiful colour in our old bedroom. Yeah, that was just a Valspar one called Shady Lady, and it was a really interesting blue purple colour that looked different in different lights. And basically I want the green version of that, which might be a colour that doesn't exist, but we'll have a look and see, and this looks really promising. I just really like colours that potentially change in the lights, and this kind of pale green, it's really nice. Oh, I can definitely tell this, so this is the first like fully breathable paint, so it's kind of interesting to see the texture. It feels quite watery, which I guess makes sense. Really nice colour though. Yeah, I like that a lot. It's like really tricky to get this colour right, because I think a lot of colours that are this tone on the like colour charts on those little like paper cards, or what are they called? The colour cards for painting are more grey toned. I think people like go towards more grey, and I really wanted again that kind of slightly more saturated colour. It's funny, all the paint colours in the world, and there's still stuff that I'm like, but it needs to be a little bit more this. But that is a beautiful colour. Really nice paint as well. Like, I was worried that this, because it's a really breathable paint, I was worried it would be really tricky to use, but I don't think so. I think it's important to mention as well that I'm doing this in a room with the most like blue lighting, so we'll definitely take a look at this in the actual rooms that I want to put them in, and that will really help us figure out what we want to do. But at the moment, I really like that. It looks more blue than I I don't know though, it's perfect. It's kind of, I think in this blue light it looks blue, but I reckon in a bit more shadow and a bit more warm tone it will bring out the greens, which, as I said, is exactly what I wanted. This one,
Yeah.
that is the florist. I should write them down.
Cool. And then that one in the middle
It's Pink Slip, which is the darker, and then this is Chemise.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's only between chemise and the floral one.
Yeah, I would say my clear winner is the florist, because I think that chemise one is just, again, we'll look at it in different lights, but like just is a bit too lilac-y for me, and it's, I find it a bit harder to look at, I don't know. Whereas that one, I think all over a wall will look nice and warm still.
Yeah.
It's just got a little bit more of that like warm pink.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Last but not least is the blue colour for the floor. I thought I'd do the darkest colour last, and I'm excited to see what this will look like on a floor. I mean, I already knew I was going to like this colour. I think it's just a colour that I use a lot in my artwork, so I wanted to kind of bring that around my studio. Sort of sorbet primary, I'd call it. And yeah, this is really nice. Where we had the pink ceilings in that room, it really made a difference in the light. And I thought, actually, do I want blue like coming up from the lighting? But one, I think most of the time I'll, like where I'm sat for example, we'll have the rug around it, so it's almost like this colour is going to border around the rug, which I think would be really nice. And also I think there's going to be lots of other colourful elements in this room that help it kind of soften it. Just sign my work, so I'm just writing what colour paint it is so I don't forget. So this is the first coat of all of my little swatches. I'm going to wait for these to dry and then do a second coat, and then we can like properly see them on the walls. 2 coats now, I just did a second coat. It's still really interesting to see how the colours look on camera, but I've got a clear favourite, and luckily Joe actually agrees with me too. we both really like this middle one, which is Florist by Mylands. It's the one that I knew I would like, but it's the clear winner between all of them. I think this one is just a little bit too dark. Dreary isn't the right word, because I think this colour can look really beautiful in different places, but I just don't think it's this house. And then this one sort of surprised me actually. I do like this in different lights. I think it's a really pale colour, I mean it barely turns up on camera. I think it might be a bit of a safer option. I think this one would suit lots of different kinds of rooms and be a little bit more subtle. But I don't want subtle in this room. I think it's always a good idea when you're thinking of paint colours. Again, I'm speaking as if I have any experience at all, but I really like to think of colours as like what mood they set in the rooms, and for this room as the living room, I think it's really nice for it to be like a fun colour, and for an entertaining room for people to come round, but also for us. I think pink is still a soothing colour. I think it's quite a calming colour, like in colour theory. Something that's still bright, I think is going to be really beautiful in here. It'll be a colourful room, and I just think it will work really nicely. So this one, I think we're pretty set on this. I absolutely love this colour. It's, yeah, I'm so happy we found it on such a pale spectrum that it just, yeah, sits on a wall really nicely. This is our bed frame as well, so it's like a bigger white bed frame, and I think that's just going to look really dreamy here. I think waking up to like a light bedroom is a really lovely thing, and the lovely thing about this colour, or at least what I think this will be like, is that even in the dark it's a really interesting shadowy colour. So yeah, I'm pretty set on this as well. People are actually saying that they really like this colour, or like the bare plaster, which I find really funny, but out of all the rooms, this one is the one that I think is the nicest. But then you've got like patches like this over here that are not so nice. So yeah, we will definitely be painting our walls. And I think it's going to be in this beautiful colour. Lastly, we have the floor colour. I just don't know if I quite see these floorboards in this colour, because as much as I like trust myself with colour, I still, you know, it's your house and also it's an expensive thing to do, so I don't want to get it wrong. I do think, I've just had this thought though, that obviously this is not floor paint, and I think the floor paint has a slight sort of sheen to it, and I do think that will help in imagining how this colour will look, because at the moment it's so flat that it's not kind of reflecting any light at all. And yeah, I just think actually when it has a little bit of a sheen to it, it will reflect the light and maybe even look a bit lighter, which I think is my issue at the moment. I think it feels a bit too dark. The other colour that I'm thinking about is like a mint colour. Mint is one of my favourite colours. I always say that mint is the colour that goes with the rainbow. It goes with all colours, so I use it a lot in my artwork, and it's just, yeah, been a favourite for a long time. So I'm considering that as an option as well, and I think it would still look nice with the black and white and the other options in the room. So I don't know, it's really tough, isn't it, when you have decisions and it can make such a drastic difference. I saw this photo on Pinterest that has a similar colour floor, which I'll try and pop up like on the screen, and I really like the look of it. I think it's got a real like Moomin blue to it. This is the colour of the Moomin house basically, isn't it? And I think that might be why I'm drawn to it. And I think when I frame it in that way, where I'm like, it's the colour of the Moomin house, it's a beautiful like blue colour that I've used in my artwork, I think that's the story there. Like I think that's why I think I'd feel inspired to be in a room with this colour. Please excuse me in the background if you can hear some of Joe cutting out some cracks. I thought I would show you some of these swatches of fabric that I have got. Just a bit of fun. I've been wanting to find some curtains for our main living room curtains. These are the ones that we have had in the old house, and they've done us really well, but obviously grey is not my favourite colour. Also, I haven't mentioned this yet, but we currently have these paper chains up in the house. And no, I don't think they will be removed until after Christmas now. We put these up for my friend Beth's birthday, and I just love them. They make the whole place feel very festive and cute. I'm still deliberating over what I want in terms of fabric and textures. So these were just some silly, I don't know, I like getting swatches just to have a look. I also probably did this quite late one night and just thought 3 bird options was a good choice. I have a kind of difficult relationship with this kind of pattern that is obviously, I really like it, but I don't want anything to feel too twee. I want it to all feel quite intentional and therefore cool. But there's a real fine line I think I'm finding where I don't know if this just looks a little bit too, I don't know. I think I want it to be a little bit rougher than this, more hand-drawn, but then obviously that's really difficult to get hold of without doing something super custom. But yeah, these are from just a website called Scion, or Scion I guess. So we've got the penguin, little birdie and little swan. And yeah, I do like these as concepts, but I don't think they're right for curtains. Maybe like I'd get a cushion in this, or maybe even like a window seat in this, that would be nice. but little elements of it, but yeah, I think curtains. The other option I had was maybe doing like a top bit of the curtain in these birds. I thought that would be quite fun, and then the bottom in another colour. But again, I don't know how realistic that is in terms of what we can do. I'm definitely thinking more texture over any kind of crazy pattern, because I just think it's too hard to get the pattern that I want in the price range that I want it. Welcome to the world of house decorating. But yeah, I thought I'd show you these anyway. These might be something that you might really like, and I do love them as illustration. But yeah, it's definitely something to be said for like what I like in terms of design and what I like in terms of like interior. Wow, that was amazing! I have no idea what I've just put into that video, but I have a feeling it was me talking about colour for about 20 minutes. I hope you enjoyed just a little bit more house content. There is more on the way soon, so thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!